You are live. Okay, live.
I have always believed that programming is a superpower. The ability to think of something, see it take form with the work of your hands, and have people use whatever you built is just amazing. But learning how to code can be overwhelming, especially if you don't have prior background or experience. But worry not, because I will be teaching you the core concepts and fundamentals of programming using a friendly tool called Scratch, all while comparing this to actual code in JavaScript. Scratch is a free block-based visual programming language. You can program your own interactive stories, games, and animations using Scratch. JavaScript, on the other hand, is one of the most popular programming languages used in the industry to create web apps, mobile apps, and so much more. This class is open to everyone of all ages and is designed to help those with or without programming experience. I'm excited to see you there. My name is Cleo, and this is my masterclass.
Alright, maayong hapon, Hilongos. I am Dana Marie Perez, your host for today, and welcome to Cleo Credo's Masterclass on Programming in Scratch. Today, we are going to have a live stream for the very first time in our page, and we're very happy to launch this kind of content to all of you. So for today, I am going to first introduce our speaker. Our speaker is from Cebu province in the Philippines, and she is a software engineer by day and a hardware enthusiast by night. Her work focuses mainly on web engineering using JavaScript and Python. She is experienced in software development and has been building applications for more than 5 years now. She finds joy in building things and experimenting with different kinds of technologies. She also helps promote the tech scene and contribute to the ecosystem further in Cebu City by actively speaking to tech conferences, workshops, and meetups, as well as co-leading community-driven organizations such as Facebook, Developer Circle Cebu City, React Cebu, 𝗖𝗄𝗅 Python Users Group, and JavaScript Cebu. She loves to help create an avenue for developers to discover and learn more about technology. When away from the keyboard, she loves to read books or go up to the mountains to enjoy nature and unwind. Please welcome my very good friend, Cleo Credo, on her very first masterclass on programming in Scratch. Let's give her a round of applause, please. Hi, Cleo!
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Are you having how are you feeling right now? You're having your very first
Mm,
masterclass.
Masterclass, it's kind of like, something big. But yeah, I just want to share whatever I can share to people and hopefully inspire them and motivate them to learn and check out programming because it's really awesome. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Okay, so before we start, do you have any message to people who are tuning in today? We currently have 5 viewers right now. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Do you have a message for them before we start?
So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and I just hope that you will learn something. And even though after we have our masterclass, you will still have that time to explore more because programming doesn't end here in this masterclass. It's a continuous journey, and please let us know about your programming journey also uh, upon learning this masterclass. So yeah, let's keep connected and whatever you can always ask help, whether me or some other developers who's willing also to extend their help. So yeah, I'm excited to get our hands dirty with this master class. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you very much, Cleo. So Cleo is here today with us in order to support Project Batang Hilongosnon, support our cause, and stand with us with this with our movement. So thank you very much, Cleo. And yes, let's get this rolling.
Yes, let's do this.
Let's do this. Okay, I'll give the floor to Cleo. Let's give her a round of applause, please.
Yay! So can you see my screen right now? Okay, it's there. So again, everyone, welcome. This is the programming masterclass using Scratch. I'm Cleo. I'm a software engineer at StarTechUp. So a little background about me. So I make software during the day, and I also tinker with electronic and hardware boards as a hobby at night. And I also, in the introduction, I also help build communities, developer communities in my city, which is Cebu City. And overall, I love to share my passion in technology. And thank you so much to the organizers of Project Batang Hilongosnon for inviting me. It's such an honor to be here. So yeah, let's get started. So now we've all gathered here to learn one thing. Not really one thing, because programming is a very, huge topic. And that is programming. So now it's time for us to ask, what really is programming? So now when you try to Google about what computer programming is, there are like lots of bloated definition available online. But like this one from 𝗏𝓃𝓉𝓇𝑜𝒹𝓊𝒸𝓆. It's like a 2-paragraph definition of what computer programming is. But for me, in a nutshell, programming is just, telling a computer what to do. That's just basically it. But now I think I have made things more confusing for you. But don't worry, we'll define it more as we go along in the next slides. So the people who does programming are called programmers, synonymous to software developers and software engineers. So what do? They sit all day and look at the computer screen. Just kidding. They actually code and solve problems, and the problems that they solve come as a result is a product for software. So programming, computer science, or coding is a multidisciplinary field, and these are just some of the fields that you can specialize in programming. So whether you want to make games, you can probably specialize in game development. If you want to explore things on like penetration testing, or like making sure that the software systems are secure, then probably you can go on to cybersecurity, like data encryption and all that. If you want to build mobile applications, um, like for Android and iOS, you can go to mobile applications development. Or if you want to make a game or something like Pokemon Go, so that's under on augmented reality and virtual reality, AR, VR, and so much more. Like when we go out, we see software everywhere, and that's why programming has become more and more popular as the years go by, because of the impact that it has in the society that we live in. But how can we do programming? It's using programming languages. So programming languages are the communication medium. Same as how we use French language in order to speak to French people, programming languages is used to help you communicate with a computer. So programming languages, most of the like popular ones are Python, JavaScript, Java, C Sharp, C, PHP, and so on and so forth. So you learn programming languages, then you write code. So this code contains lots of syntax. And after you have this code, these are not just a single file, but a software contains millions or probably thousands of lines of code, and they're separated into files. And once you have this organization of code that you have, you can wrap them up and then release them, and that would be the software. That would be the final product. So that's how software and programming are like, connected, or how they're related to each other. So today we will be learning two programming languages. So we'll not only learn about Scratch, but we will also learn about JavaScript. Because you may be wondering, like, oh, those programmers I see in the internet, they do actual coding, with programming. The Matrix hacker style thing with a black terminal, and then there's those green font typing. So yes, we will also code using a programming language called JavaScript, so that we can compare Scratch and JavaScript. Because this class is designed to help those with or without a programming experience. We will be learning mainly on Scratch, but we will have a comparison between this programming concepts and how it is applied to actual code. So Scratch is a block-based visual programming language. And JavaScript also is a scripting and programming language used to create web, mobile, desktop apps, and more. So why Scratch? So using Scratch, you can create your own interactive stories, games, and animations, and share your creations with the online community. So let me just quickly share that. So Scratch has a awesome online community. I think I'm not yet signed in. Let me sign in for a while. So with my account, Scratch account. So it's good if you have a Scratch account, so that you can save your projects online and also share them. So the Scratch dashboard after you've created your account. And as you can see here, there's lots of things that you can explore and create. And if you, for example, click on this thing here, you can interact with the other Scratchers. So they have this name in the Scratch community, if it's called Scratcher. So yeah. So here, people can make comments and probably give suggestions on what you can improve with your project. So you can also see inside, on this project, you will see the how the project has been made. So like here, how it came out to be. So let me grab, okay, the snowman here. So yeah, like that. So going back to my slide. So yeah, they have a vibrant online community, and it will just encourage you to build more and create more with Scratch. So it helps people learn how to think creatively, reason systematically, and work collaboratively. Because in reality, when you try to work and create your own program, there are times that you can build it on your own, but then when you work in the industry, most of the time you really will work with a team. So yeah, think creatively, because you will have your ideas and you can work on those ideas, and reason systematically, because you will build your logic to make your idea a reality. And the very reason why we're doing Scratch is that we will learn programming and logic without being overwhelmed with code and syntax. So when I first learned about programming, it's kind of overwhelming, because I had to be familiarized with the code and the principles behind that programming language. And for us to this class will help you understand the programming fundamentals and concepts. This is a gentle introduction, in a way that it would allow you to compare code and an easier way of implementing things, which is using Scratch. So yeah, it would I hope that this class will all actually encourage you to really go into programming. So this is let's play a video on what you can actually make with Scratch. With joke spoiler. So let's play this. Okay, that's the introduction for Scratch. Scratch 3.0. Scratch version now is 3.0, but if you have if you have tried Scratch before, it's the table version was like 2.0, but they have released the new one. It has lots of new features. So we'll be using Scratch 3.0 today. So also, why JavaScript? So this is an excerpt from the Stack Overflow Developer Survey 2020. And for 8 years in a row, JavaScript has maintained its stronghold as the mostly used programming language. What does that mean? So when you try to learn a programming language, you may want to think about the sustainability of that programming language. Will it be relevant in the next 10 or like 20 years? Maybe not that long, because technology is always changing, and sometimes programming languages become irrelevant as the time goes by. But this is just a proof that it's good to learn this particular programming language, because it has maintained this popularity over the years, and developers have consistently built apps. Corporate and high level organizations are building their applications in JavaScript. And according to their survey, it has 67.7% of the developers, so JavaScript developers. So yeah, JavaScript. So what will you need for Scratch? So I already pointed you to Scratch MIT Edu. So Scratch actually has an online editor. So for example, let me go back to my homepage. So here, when I try to click create, it will actually take me to a blank Scratch Scratch editor. So it'll take quite a while. Let's wait for that. So here, you can directly create your Scratch program in their online editor. But also, if you're in a location where internet connection is scarce or probably not stable, they also offer an offline editor. So you can check out Scratch MIT Edu/download to get the installer, whether that will be for Mac, Windows, or for Linux. Depends on the machine that you have. They have installers for all of that operating system. So Scratch Offline, it's pretty much the same. It's just that it's not loaded in a browser. So let me show you what Scratch Offline looks like. So Scratch Desktop. So I also installed it here. So yeah, Scratch Desktop this is for Mac, Windows. No, Mac operating system. Okay, that will take a while. Let us just proceed. Is it already loaded? Not yet. Let's come back to that later. So for JavaScript, what will you need? So you need to install Node.js on your computer. So Node.js is actually JavaScript on the back end. I mean, like that's kind of technical term, but then before, JavaScript actually just run on the browser, but now they have made that JavaScript can actually execute processes and backend logic. So you can install Node by going to nodejs.org. So wait, my oh here. So you can download whatever operating system you have for Node.js. Okay, let me go back to my slide. And the next thing that you'll need is a text editor. So a text editor is what we will use for coding. So I suggest Visual Studio Code. And you can install them here on Visual Studio Code website, and they also have all the installers for you. So here, this is for the Node.js. Yeah, depending on your architecture, 32-bit or 64-bit. So yeah. So this is Visual Studio Code. So let me open Visual Studio Code so you can, let's go back to Scratch desktop. Okay, here. So as you can see, it's pretty much the same with the online one, but the disadvantage of having like creating your projects on offline editor is that you cannot if your files or your computer gets corrupted, also your files will, so your Scratch files will also be, you know, deleted, or not, you will not be able to recover them anymore. But then also the advantage of this is that, like I said, if you don't have a good internet connection, then you can use this to still create your projects. So yeah, let's go to Visual Studio. So yeah, this is Visual Studio. Wait, let me close that. So I can create my code here by, like, you know, creating a new file, and then I can type and do the code there. But then we will do that later on. So I'm just showing you what the code editor looks like. Okay, let's go back to my slide. But for fast testing of JavaScript code, if you don't want to do these installations, you can we can use the console from Chrome Developer Tools. So let me show you what I actually meant by that. So I'll open a new tab here. I'll click inspect element. So here, all the you know, crazy stuff. But then let's go to the console tab here, and let me just type a simple JavaScript expression. So let's say console.log, just to show you that this actually works in testing your JavaScript code. So console log hello world. It's just I'm printing hello world, so it properly executes in here. So if you don't want to do those installation again, you can use this to quickly test your JavaScript code. But this is not good for, like, you know, big projects. Like if your JavaScript code is already having those multiple files, and you already have multiple directories under that project, so no, you can you can use this. You need a proper text editor for that. But for quick testing of JavaScript expressions, you can use this. Okay, so we're good with that. So let's get started with Scratch. So before we can, like, you know, get our hands dirty with all the things that we will learn today, we need to be familiarized with the environment that we have in Scratch. So this is again your Scratch editor. So block palette. I don't know how to pronounce that, but whatever. So block palette. So here, let me just open my Scratch desktop. So here, this is the block palette. So I have all the categories here. We have motion, so that means all the movements for the sprites. Then looks, so that the presentational blocks. The sound, you can also insert sounds. Events means like the triggering action for your program to actually execute something. Control is like delays, or you have to wait, or like the repetitions that you will have in your program. Sensing is used for like mouse clicks, or mouse pointer, or keyboard any type of user input that involves your keyboard, mouse, and what else. Also you have a timer, and what else. Yeah, so if you also need an input from your user, like if you try to ask an input, then you will save that here in the answer. So have that. Operators, so we can do mathematical operations in Scratch. Also variables, we can create variables. We will learn about variables later on. And you can also create your very own blocks using you can like you can create some your own block by, and then inside your own block you have those combinations of the blocks that we have here. So yeah, that's for the block palette. The next thing is the script area. So script area is basically this one here. So these blocks are also called scripts. So next is the stage. So the stage is where your code will be actually reflected. So here, this is the stage. Okay. Next would be the sprite list. So sprite list will be shown here. So sprites, I will define sprites later on, but then let's just keep that in mind that we have that, magic word sprite. So all of the sprites that will be used in my program will be listed in here. So this is the sprite area. Okay. The next thing is the menu bar. So the menu bar is located here. So whatever language, and then if you want to like load something from your computer or save the file or create a new project, edit, or we also have tutorials in here for those of you who wanted to like have a guide. So they have that. Why did I exit it? Anyway, let's open it again. So next is sprite toolbar. Come on, scratch the stuff. We need faster execution here. Or if that's too loading, then let's just go back here. Yeah, let's just go back here. So we have the sprite toolbar. So sprite toolbar is this part here. So you can control uh, the settings for your sprite. Like for example, what is the size of your sprite? Let me switch this to 50%. So your sprite will actually shrink to 50%. Where is the current location of your sprite? So it's actually in X position 98, Y position 47. So I'll discuss that more later on. And so don't be overwhelmed. So we will get through that. So I'm just introducing here the sprite toolbar. Okay. Next would be what else? Execution buttons. So the execution buttons are actually this one: start and stop, green flag and red button. And lastly, I think this is the last, view buttons. So if you want to have it like full screen or like this format, so for example this, let's pick that. So your sprite your program area, or like what's it's called again? So your what's this? Script area is actually bigger than your stage. So you can also have that layout in here. So I choose this one, and if you want to have like this, your sprite will take over everything, like it's a full screen view. So you can do that. Okay, and I think that's it. View buttons, yeah, last. That's the last. So again, we have the magic word called sprite, right? So sprite, these are the characters in your program. So in here, how many sprites do we have? We have 4, right? So you can also like if so sprites. Let's go to the Scratch editor. I'll just use the online one here. So let me call this. It's really good practice to name your files before you start working on them. So let's have this PBH masterclass. So I want to add a sprite. How do I do that? So here we can actually choose a sprite, or we can like create our own sprite. So we have something here, like we can paint what sample square. So I want to have a square sprite. Then I want to color it yellow, so like that. And then yeah, so I want to shrink it to size, let's say 50. So yeah, so let's go back. That's how you create a sprite using paint if you want to draw your own. And you can also you can also choose a sprite from the library that Scratch has. For example, I want to have this bear because it's so cute. Okay, so the bear is here like that. Or if I want to like, I want to get an image from the internet because nothing in the library suits my taste. So I can probably search here clip art. Then I can choose an image here. Wait, let me just close this developer tools. So it's important that if you choose an image, the background should be, you know, like transparent. I hope this is transparent though. So save image. I'll just put that in the desktop. And then here, I would import upload sprite. Then where was that? B, there. So it's importing. And unfortunately, what I've chosen is actually not having a transparent background. So, but what I'm really just trying to do here is to show you that you can import images. So yeah, I'll delete this because I don't like the background. It's not like transparent anyhow. Yeah, so that's how you actually import sprites. So let's go back to my slide. Let me close this so that it won't take space. So next would be the scripts. So the scripts make your sprite move, interact, create sounds, change color and shape. So I have, I have detailed each of these categories here to you a while ago. So yeah, these are the blocks that you will use in your program. In your program, so a program is composed of many scripts. So sprites working together, controlled by their script, make up a program. And so yeah, we were talking about like the X and Y position here, right? It's because, wait, let me close this. It's because your stage is actually represented by an X and Y grid. So because we will never know, or we won't know where is the exact position of your sprite unless we have a way of telling so. So that's why we have X coordinate and Y coordinate from your math class. So the quadrants also. Okay, let's go to Scratch, and this is the backdrop. So you can actually like choose also a backdrop, your background. So let's get the X and Y grid here, just for you to have an idea of where your sprites are located at. The bear is too big. I'm kind of distracted with it. So let me change the size. Okay. So here, as we move along, this sprite here, notice that X and Y values are actually like changing. Same with the bear. So if I click on bear, that will be my active sprite, and then that will know it's actually here on negative 102 and positive y no negative x-axis and positive y-axis. So yeah, math stuff in programming. So okay, now we're kind of like having a warm up on our Scratch environment. These are actually the programming fundamentals that you learn today. So from the very first thing that you learn, printing hello world in your program, to actually creating functions. So let's get started. So printing a message using Scratch and JavaScript. So I'll demo first the Scratch, and then I will compare it to JavaScript code and open this Visual Studio Code here. Okay, so let's go back here. So I'll delete this. Then I'll return my backdrop to something else. I'll just have this so that it's clearer. Okay, how do we actually like print a message here on the stage? So first is we go to looks and we say hello world. When you try to click this, it will actually execute. There's also another way of executing things, and I think this is the best practice. You will go to events, and then you will attach this when green flag is clicked. That means that your program's way of execution is really consistent with clicking this green button here and also stopping it using this red button here. So when I click this, it will execute. So yeah, let's keep it that way, okay? So whenever we try to test our blocks, we will use the green flag. Okay, that's for printing the message. Let's go to JavaScript. So here, I will create a new file. So I will put that in my desktop, and I will say here, pbh masterclass.js. And by doing that, I'm actually like creating this as a JavaScript file because the JavaScript files have this file type of .js. Okay, so how do I do that? I'll also like open a terminal here because we will execute our code here in the terminal. So let me clear that. So let's say just like I did with the with the console developer tools in the web browser, we'll say hello world. Okay, so let's save that. And then how do we run a JavaScript file? So like I said, we install Node, right? So how it's run is like this: click Node space, then the name of the file. So first, let's check if we're actually in the same directory with our file, because if we don't do that, our terminal or our JavaScript code won't be able to locate where is our file. So I will know that also. Here I'm in users Cleo Credo, so I'm not actually in the desktop. So I need to change directory to desktop. And I will try to execute node and pbh masterclass. As you can see here, what is executed is hello world. So that's for the first part. Okay. The next thing that we will do is variables. So what are variables? Variables are containers of something, like whether that be data or file or image file, image or sound file. So they're containers. So in this case, variables are used to contain data. So how do we actually do that in Scratch? So let's go back to our Scratch online editor. So let me separate this. So here we have like the categories variables, right? So we can make a variable, let's say name, okay? And then I'll click OK. So I now have an access here to the name variable. So after that, what we'll do is I will print hello, then the next would be the name. So let's do that. So I will go here to the looks, say hello, and then I will have a delay. I will say wait for 0.25 seconds, and I will put another hello block here. But in this case, for the second say block, I will use the name. But then name. So wait, I forgot something. So here, let's try to ask a user input from our user. Okay, so for a while okay, so let's ask, what is your name? And then here in sensing, we also have an access to whatever the user is like trying to input using this answer block. So in this case, I will get the value and assign that to our variable. So in here, I can put like a set. Wait, let me separate this. Set, then the variable name to answer. Okay? And then I can already do this. Say hello, then wait 0.25 seconds, and say the name. So let's try to execute this if this works. Okay. What's your name? So my name is Cleo. Hello, Cleo. Is everything still clear from this point? Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, I'll proceed. So that's how you use variables in Scratch. Now the next thing that we will do is actually create a variable in JavaScript. So yeah, that one. So let me comment this out. Wait, let's go back to our. Okay, actually, I skipped this one, comments. So comments. So comments are actually very helpful when your code is becoming too much already, and then you try to trace every single line of your code or your blocks in Scratch, but you don't know actually what is this specific block for? What does it do? So comments actually help your teammates or your collaborator in the program that you're making understand easier what you're trying to do. So let me go back here. So here let me put a comment and say greet hello world. So your and in here let me add a comment here that says this particular block is actually like using variables. So that is what this block is for. So in JavaScript, we can also do that by saying double backslash, then say printing message like that. Or if you want to do a multi-line block, for example, I will put 5 lines of this, and I want everything to to be commented. But then it's too tiring to do this. So you can actually do a multi-line comment by doing something like this. Okay, that works. So you will know that your this part of the code is comment by seeing here in my text editor that it actually is not highlighted. So yeah, let's bring it back. And I'll comment this because I'll create another code and I want this to not be executed also. So variables, right? So there are 2 types of keywords in JavaScript that you can use in order to create a variable. So that's called let and const. So let is actually changeable, the value is changeable, while const means constant, meaning whatever you assign to this particular variable is not changeable. So let's say let name is equal to Cleo. Then const last name, last underscore name equal to Credo. No, not minus, but equals. So so here, let me reassign, just for us to see the difference. Let me log first the 2 values. So let's say name, and then let me copy this. Then last underscore name. So like that. And also I just received a message. Is my sound okay? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, Claire. So earlier, when you presented the introduction for what is this, Scratch, there was no sound with the video. But yes, maybe we can go back to that later. We can do it again later.
So is there something I'm missing from my end on the audio thing settings or what? I didn't mute, or I don't know what happened.
Okay, so
So
maybe we can go back with the introduction to
okay.
Scratch video later. Thank you,
Okay, cool.
Claire.
Okay, so yeah, all good. So let's go back here. So what I'm trying to do here is reassign a value for my let and const variables. So let's say for name, I'll reassign it to Juan, and for last name, last underscore name, I'm going to assign it to De La Cruz. And let's see if the values will be changed. Okay, let's try to save that, and I'll clear my terminal and execute it again. So as you can see here, it throw an error. It says assignment to a constant variable. That means this what I did here is not really possible. So let me just remove that and everything will run. So let me save that and let me clear. Then if I run, then I see Cleo Credo, and then I assign the value of my name to Juan, and that the value is changed here to Juan. And then the console log is for the last name is just the same because we cannot reassign a value to a const variable. So I hope that's clear. Let and const. Okay. So here we will try to do the same thing with our hello Cleo in Scratch. So let me remove this. So let me say console log and say hello space. Remember that in programming, a white space is still counted. So it's just like a normal character, like letters and numbers and punctuations. It's still counted when you try to print it. So I'm putting here hello space, and then I will put the variable name. So there. So let me execute that, and I say hello, then there's the space, Leo. But if I don't do that, if I omit the white space, oh, I still have it. Wait, okay. So I will actually have the plus to demonstrate this is called concatenation. So you're actually like trying to add two strings together. So strings, oh, let us define what strings are later on the data types part. But here, imagine this is what is a phrase or a number, or let's say name and a message. So you're trying to merge them together. So let's try. Here, as you can see, it's hello and no space Cleo. But if I put here as white space and save that, hello space Cleo. So yeah, that's using variables and printing using variables. So let's go here. Yeah, data types. So this is what I'm telling you. So Scratch has three known data types: Boolean, number, and string. While JavaScript has, still a lot, but the most common are number, string, object, and Boolean. So what are these data types? What does this mean? So what are they? So let's go back to our Scratch editor. So I'll again separate this and move on to another part. So here, let's say type any value here. And then I will fetch the answer, of course. And then I will just display that. Because Scratch, unlike other programming language, has an auto conversion of like, not really auto conversion, but it auto detects what is your input. If you input it number, it will assign it to actually like a number data type. If you're trying to put string or like characters, then it will assign it to string. So for example, here, when I try to do that, I can like type, like my name. And if I type it again, I can type like, numbers. So like that. But how, just for us to differentiate, we will create a program that will identify if a number, if the input is a number or not. Okay? So let's have some brain exercise here. So again, I will describe. Boolean is actually a data type that only consists of two values, true or false. But in electronics or in like hardware signals, it could be 1 and 0. So again, true or false, Boolean in programming, represented by 0 or 1. And the number is just your typical number. It could be like a negative number. It could be decimal. It can be an integer. String is a series of characters. So whether it be a message or a name or whatever, as long as you have characters in there that consist of letters, numbers, punctuations, white spaces, and all that. Okay, same with also with JavaScript, but then we have this one outlier here, which is the object. So object, I will demo that in JavaScript. But then object really is just a collection of data wrapped into a single data type, which is the object data type, and it has keys and value. So key field and what is actually the value. So I will show you that in JavaScript. So here next, let's do a quick brain exercise. How will we know if a number is a number? So let's create a variable here. Let's create another variable. Let's call it data and space value. But in JavaScript, remember that here in Scratch, I can actually like name my variables with a white space here. But in JavaScript, you can't do that. Remember? That's why I actually when I had the variable const last underscore name, I put an underscore because if I put a white space, it will not be it's invalid in JavaScript. So here data space value. So that's okay in Scratch. So I have let me uncheck the name so that it won't be displayed here. Also the data value because we don't need those to be displayed. So here I have data value. I will be fetching that. So here I will be setting the data value to the answer. Okay. So how will we know if a number is a number? I actually have two solutions to that problem. If you divide a number by a number, for example, if you divide number divided by 1, the result will always be its value. So for example, 5 divided by 1, that would be 5, right? But if I divide Cleo divided by 1, then that would not result to a number because you're trying to divide something that is not a number. Another thing that we can do is round off. So you can only perform round off with numbers, right? So let's do that. So here we will introduce you to another programming concept, which is a conditional logic, if else. So let's go here. So if else. So you're trying to check. If else is used for checking a certain condition, and inside that, if whatever condition is placed here, it will execute the code under it, and if not, it will execute this part here. So if else will actually evaluate to a Boolean data type, so true or false. So that's for example, if age is equal to 10, then say you are young, else you are old or you may be, I don't know. So yeah, that's the idea of if else. So here, let's try to do operators. So let's try to divide our whatever our input with 1. And if it's this, if the result is the current is the same, then that means we are actually receiving a number as an input. So let's do that. I'll have this, and I'll have data value. I will duplicate this one. So here I will have another expression because I will be dividing the data value by 1. Okay. So I will put that here. So you can see it just easily snaps in whatever blocks you have. Okay, I will also duplicate this and I will say here that input is a number. A number. And then here, input is not a number. Okay. So let's try to run this. I will type 89 and it says input is a number. I will type my name and it says here input is not a number. So I will also lots of like that, and it will still it will still return the correct response. So yeah, that is how we identify if a number is a number. And we're just trying to demonstrate here the data types. So that's for Scratch. Let's do data types here in JavaScript. So let me put a comment here. Let's say printing with variable. Okay, let me comment this so that when I try to execute a new code, it will not be executed also. So here, let me use const boolean value true. Then I'm just creating some variables here according to the different data types in JavaScript. So say number underscore value, and I'll have 26. Const, what else? String value is equal to hi. Const object. So yeah, I will show you what objects are here. Object spelling. And object starts with curly braces. And then first is the key. This is the key. So first underscore name and then the value. So Cleo, and then the next item in our object would be the last underscore name. I forgot to wrap it in a double quotes. That. And then Credo. So here we have a JavaScript function called typeof in order for us to identify what is the type of the the variable data type of the variable. Yeah. So here, let's say console log. I'll just log everything, here. So like that. Then number. We'll have 2, so let's just copy that, and then this one also. So again, in objects, this is the key, and this is the value. So if you try to access elements inside an object, because again, object is contains data inside. So I would say object value dot first name. And then if I want to access also the value for the last name, I would say object value dot last name. Let's try to run this and see. Okay, actually I'm missing the type of here. So here type of, because this is the purpose of why we're trying to log everything, just to show you the data types in JavaScript. Okay, let's save that. I will clear this one up. Okay, so as you can see here, when I say true, this is actually a Boolean value. For this, it gave me a number. For this, it gave me a string. And for this, it gave me an object. And here, we're trying to access the elements inside the object by using their key name, which is first name, Cleo, and last name is Credo. I hope that is clear to you. No questions so far. Please feel free to interrupt me. I am also checking the comments. So far, no comments, right? yeah. Should we have a break, Ate Dana?
Yes, Cleo. Oh, I look so bright. What is this? Anyway, wait, hold on. Let me just fix my camera. While I fix my camera because I look like a. Oh wait, well it's okay now. Anyways, so yes, Cleo. Basically, we are going to have a Q&A session later.
Mhm.
So we brought two reactors in this session. I was not able to tell you this because this is a surprise.
It's
So
okay.
we brought two people today. I'm going to bring in Kuya
Mhm.
MJ and Sheena. Kuya MJ,
Wow.
basically, Kuya MJ is a senior software engineer, and
Wow.
he worked with Java for 10 years already. So
Mhm.
he's going to represent the senior software engineers community today. And we have
Mhm.
Sheena. Sheena is a a BS biology student in the University of the Philippines, Cebu. So
Mhm.
our kaiska, and Kuya MJ is also a graduate from 𝗃𝗢𝗏𝗏, so he's also an ISCO. Basically,
Wow.
Sheena is going to represent the kids that doesn't have any experience with programming today. So we are
Mhm.
going to have them both react to you later
Mhm.
after this short break. Okay.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to get you guys out of the screen as of the moment
Mhm.
so that I can go ahead so that we can proceed with the break. So everyone watching us today live from wherever you are today, I hope you're enjoying Cleo's lessons, and we'll have a short break to bring you guys the background of TBH.
And together with the core team, we go to shopping and do the
Hi, I'm 𝗃𝗢𝗏𝓁𝓎, the co-founder of Project 𝗃𝗢𝓏𝓁. I'm one of the core team and I'm team head of registration.
Hi, I am 𝗏𝗃𝓁𝓉𝓇𝑜𝒹𝓊𝒸𝓈. I'm part of the core team as a team leader for the Committee on Accounting.
I'm 𝗦𝗰𝗿𝗁𝒺𝗏, assistant team head of the accounting committee. I'm 𝒃𝗫𝓚 and I'm the public relations team head and I'm a member of the core team. I am Queen General and I am a member of the core team and also the team head of the public relations team.
Hi, I'm 𝗏𝗰𝗿𝗁𝒺 and I'm under PR team, specifically on fundraising activities.
I am Rina Princess Yan. I am a member of the Leadership team and I am a PBH volunteer. I'm Helen Zamora, a member of the team volunteer. It's like the backbone of its operations is we do the repacking, the shopping.
We are in charge with all the money matters,
Budgeting the money.
and together with the core team,
We go to the barangays, we go to the schools, and we do the distribution, which is ourselves, PBH. The public relations role in this organization is to promote on social media through posters, photos that can gather around donations for space. Me personally, I am handling the videos. I am the one who takes videos during distribution, and I'm also the one who edits it and uploads it online. I want to extend help to the children of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, mainly for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, but it was just a simple SK project since I'm an SK counselor of my barangay. So, because of some circumstances, it wasn't possible. So I approached my sister about this idea, and she also had the same initiative. So we kind of started PPH that way.
Bridge that gap, especially during this pandemic, so our students and teachers will be able to learn and move forward in the academic year.
It's because I grew up in Ilocos, I've grown to love Ilocos, and
I've always heard the trend for international organizations. However, recently, I've realized that I should start localizing my help. I should start catering to people who are near me because they also need help.
it's where I want to start working on helping other people.
Those people who are from my Ilocos.
Important so that we can help one another. It is a big opportunity nga makatabang ta ang atong time sa dili sa sayang kaya namatay pagdulungan sa atong hatag ng oras. I think it is important for Ilocos to support initiatives like this organization is making because it does not only empower the school, the teachers, and the students, but also it strengthens the bond between the community of Ilocos.
The support of our own Ilongos nun is very vital to the operations of PPH because the organization itself runs through donations, and if you have something to donate, then do not hesitate to help.
What the longest means right now is
Compassion.
longest means the initiative. Having been a part of an PPH, I'm genuinely happy. I'm happy to say. Yes, I am.
Yes, I'm very glad to be part of it.
Yes, I am.
We need your help in this project because basically our project is run through your donations. So the more you donate, the more we can help the kids or schools, especially the minorities, since they are being left out in these current times, in these trying times, and we don't want them to suffer more.
We can get through it all.
But ayun lang, and continue to strive, and together we can fulfill this.
Lain lang ba sa pagtapang sa mga salantingan?
As they continue to step forward, to have the initiative on helping other people, especially when it's about education, since children are the foundation of the youth. So it's way better for us to start helping the kids, extending help to the kids have the quality education that they deserve. So, my main message for them is that have the initiative to help other people. I'm very grateful for the volunteers that they have taken the step to extending help to the people, the children of the world. It would be very hard. It would be way harder than we have imagined as we established PPH if it's not for them. So they have played a very crucial role in the PPH operations. If they wouldn't have been there, we would not have helped. We would not have any help in the distributions, in the repacking. So they are very important to the PPH. For those who would like to help and to extend their helping hands, I hope you will continue to help and you will not. The
us. Helping is a good thing.
If you have something to spare, may it be money, gadgets, or school supplies, then the PBH will be very happy.
Kanang mga ganahan mo tabang, kanang tabang lang mo like, dako ka dyan magtabang, dako ka dyan gamit, bisan ka kaya inyong muhatag.
To our donors, sponsors, and supporters, I would like to give my heartfelt gratitude to all of you. You have donated your hard-earned money to help us, and for that, the Muslims will never ever forget that you are as the co-founder and the overall project manager of the make sure that the help you have extended will reach the people who need them most.
Wow, I look so. Okay, anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for checking out that commercial break. And so I'm going to give you to my co-founder and the PBH logistics team head today, so that she can introduce to you what is Project Batang Hilongosan. Let's give it up to my sister, Ana-Marie Perez.
Good afternoon again. I am Anna, co-founder of Project Batang Hilongosan, and allow me to give you a brief description of our organization. So, PBH is an organization that is based in Hilongos, province of Leyte. So, we help teachers and students survive this new mode of learning in this new normal. So our programs, not limited to this, we give assistance to our teachers by donating pen papers, and assistance to our students by donating set of school supplies packages. We also offer free Wi-Fi hotspots around Hilongos, and this includes free printing and also free use of gadgets for their online classes. So both teachers and students. So this is done through the collected donations and also our PBH hotspot host volunteers. So if you want to donate and for us to further our operations in our municipality, you can donate through the details that is in our Facebook page. So you can visit our Facebook page at project.batang.hilongostan. And that would be all for me. Thank you, and thank you for joining our masterclass for today.
Thank you very much, Anne. So I will have to give to you back our speaker. Welcome back, Cleo.
Hello, I'm back. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So are you ready to
Yeah,
proceed?
sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I will give you back to Cleo, guys.
Yay, let's proceed. So, do you see my slides? Oh, okay. There. So, we're done with data types, right? So, I think we still have a lot of cover, so let's double click. So, next is operator versus operand. So, in Scratch and JavaScript. I'll just quickly explain the concept behind this, because we will be creating expressions that involves with operator and operands. So, for example, 1 plus 2. Where is the operator and where is the operand? So here, the operands is are 1 and 2. The operator is the addition. So, addition sign. So in Scratch and JavaScript, we can also perform arithmetic and math operations. So we have we have actually lots, like including those complex math stuff like sine, cosine, tangent, and all that. But then these are like the basic arithmetic operators that we have. And so let's work on that in Scratch. So what we will do here is that we will create two variables, and then from the user input, and we'll also decide from the user if what the user will want to do Does the user want to do the add, subtraction, division, multiplication, or modulo? So if you're you may be wondering what modulo is. So modulo is actually like an operation that would give you the remainder. So for example, 5 modulo 2, what is the answer? So the remainder is 1. So the answer would for modulo would be 1. Okay, let's go on to here. Let me create another comment here because that's like good practice to always comment your code. So I'm gonna say here, check if input is number. Okay, then I'll remove. Wait, sorry, I actually like put the place the comment in the green flag when in fact should not be there because we will be moving that from one place to another. Okay, so that here, and I'll be separating this one, and I'll be using this, and I'll be extending our script area. Okay, so let's proceed. Here we will create two variables. So first number, okay, first num. Another variable would be for the second num. Okay, so here let's try to enter the first number. I will duplicate this because we will be actually I need one more. So here I will say second number. Okay, so here I will be using the set block, set first num to answer here. Then snap that, and then add another set here, second number, then the sensing answer, and then here I will say what I'll say, just say operation, and I'll say yeah, the user has choices, so add, sub, mul, div, and modulo. So here I will have an if statement. So I have here four, what's this, five operations. So say if answer, operators would be equals, where is that again? Oh, here. If answer is equal to add, then we would say and then going to operators, we will have plus in here. So, and going to variables are first num and second num, like that. And I will duplicate this for 4 more times because we have 4 operators. Okay, so here instead of this one, I'm gonna say sub, and then I'll move that and replace this operator with minus, first num, second num. Okay, get that there, and let me remove this. What's this? This is for multiply. So I will have the multiply block here, the operator, and then first num and second num would be the operands. Wait, it's not snapping. So here, okay. So that's for the multiply. Let's slowly snap them together. And what's next? Division and modulo, right? So div, and this one is modulo. And then let me take this out. And then for the division, same thing. and snap that there. And lastly, for our modulo, let's get the mod operator. Okay, so let's test this. Enter the first number, 5. Second number is 5. Let's say add, so the answer is 10. Let's try for modulo. So let's say 5, then 2, that means 5 modulo 2, the answer would be 1 modulo, and then the answer would be 1. And the same thing you can test for subtraction, multiplication, and division. So in JavaScript, it's very, very simple. Like so here, let me just comment this and also put a description for the comment, data types. And let's proceed here. Arithmetic operations. And I'll declare two numbers here. I'll say const first num is equal to 20, and I'll have const second number would be like 5. And then I will have, just like what we did, we displayed it. So I will say here add, and then first num plus second num, and then I will actually do this like 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then instead of add, I'm gonna say sub. Then this would be like minus. This would be multiply, and this would be asterisk, and then div, and then forward slash. Then mod would be %. So let's try. I'll clear this one up and notice here. So 20 plus 5, 25. 20 minus 5, 15. 20 times 5, 100. 20 divided by 5, 4. And 20 evenly divides by 5. So there's no remainder. So modulo is 0. Okay. That's for the arithmetic and math operators. Next would be the modulo operator. Let's create another activity for this. So the activity would be to identify if a number is even or odd. So let's do that on Scratch. So how do we know if a number is even or odd? We will know if a number is even or odd if it evenly divides by 2, meaning no remainder. So let me remove this, and I'm gonna add a comment again that says arithmetic operators. Okay, like that. So here I will let me remove this one. So okay, so I'm going to again let me duplicate this. Okay, stop the script. Okay, so here enter a number. Okay, then the next would be an if else statement. If else. Okay, so I will be using the modulo operator and also the equals, because we have to make sure that the result is 0. So I will be using the sensing here. I would say answer modulo 2, and I will snap that with our equals operator. So here, if answer modulo 2 is equal to 0, then that means we can say that the number, we'll just say even, and this one is odd. Okay, let's try to run this. green flag is clicked, enter number 8, and it's even. I'll say 35, and number is odd. Okay, all clear? So I'll add a comment again here. Say even or odd. We're done with Scratch. Next is for JavaScript. So I will comment this again, and I will create comment here even or odd. Okay, so here I'm gonna say let number, so that is where we will assign it. Let's say 5. So we will have our if statement here. If number modulo 2 is equal to 0, and that means say console log even. Okay. Else console log wait, odd. We have to be consistent with our double quotes here. Odd. So yeah, let's try to run this. And as you can see, 5 is odd, and let's say 10 even. So yeah, that's how it's implemented in JavaScript. So what's next? Next would be the comparison operators. So comparison operators are, greater than, less than, or equal, or not greater than, not less than, not equal. So let's do that in Scratch. So here we will create a program that would identify what is your age bracket. So if you are, let's set some conditions. So if you are less than 13 but greater than 0, that means you're a kid. If you're 13 until 19, then that means you're a teenager. If you're 19 to 25, that means you're a young adult, and 25 above, that means you're an adult. Okay, so let's do that. Let's wait. Where did I put this? Oh no, I commit the same mistakes all over again. So later I'll just leave the comments. It's not that. So here, when green flag is clicked, I will again ask the user input. I'll say age, and then I'll just use answers here and not create a variable for the age. So here answer, and then I will have if statements here. So if, so okay, let me just directly go to logical operators. So logical operators and, or, and not. So and means that, for example, this statement should be satisfied, and this other operation should, this other statement should also be satisfied for it to return true. If not, if one of the statement is false, then it will return false. Or means like either one needs to be true or false. So it doesn't need for all of the statements to be true. Not means the inverse. So if you have a true result, it will convert it to false, and vice versa. Okay, so here, because we will be also using the and logical operator, so here, so let's say let's have the first lower interval. So we will say if age is greater than 0. So let's go to the operators, and we will have the greater than sign. So we will say answer. Let me duplicate this like lots. Okay. So let's say if answer is greater than 0, and then we will also use the and. So and, or, and not. So this is your logical operators here. So let's say and, so If answer is greater than 0 and answer is less than, let's say, 13, because our interval is 12, so less than 13, answer is less than 13, that would be placed in the if condition, and we will just say kid. And let's try to duplicate this, like for 2 instances, for the teen and for the young adult. So here, if answer is greater than 12 but less than 20, because our interval is 13 to 19, so 20, okay? Then we say teenager. And here, if our answer is greater than 19 but less than 26, because our interval again is 20 to 25. So I'll say here young adult. Okay, let's slowly snap them up. And I'll have one final if for the adult. Wait. Operators, and then if answer is greater than, I forgot the answer. Here, answer is greater than 25, then that means we'll say teenager, adult, and no, this is young adult. So young adult. And then this one is adult. Okay. Let's try to run. Stop first. Run. Age, let's say 25. Young adult, let's say 3. Kid, let's say 15. Teenager, and let's say 89. Adult. Okay, we're good with that. So again, and operator and the comparison, which is greater than and less than. So let's do this in JavaScript. We're almost there. Yeah, we're almost there, guys. For the programming fundamentals, and afterwards we have activities where we will create a game. So yes. Yeah, let's go to JavaScript. So let's comment this, and I'll say age group. So let's say let age, that's a variable 25. Then let me log the age. Actually, no need. So I'll just directly go to the if. If age is, and that's how you create the and for the comparison. For the or, it's like this, and for the not, it's exclamation point. So for and, it's like that. Age is greater than 0 and age is less than 13. So let's say console log kid. So let me copy this. I have else here, but I will just copy the if, so that will be faster. Okay, and then else that's for kid, teenager, young adult, and adult already. Okay, else. Okay, so let's change the values here. So for age, for teen, that's 12, then less than 20. Let's say here teen, and then this one would be like 19, and then this would be like 26, and then greater than 25. So this would be young adult, and this one would be adult. Okay, let's save this and see where is our age group. As you can see, it says young adult, and I say 5 years old, then that would be for the kid. So yeah, that's how we implement the conditional logic if else again. and logical operators and conditional operators in JavaScript. Next, list and array. So sometimes when we try to represent our data, they are like in a collection. I mean, like they are placed on a certain grouping, right? So that's list, and that's also called array in JavaScript. But if you try to specify more about in JavaScript, array and list, they're actually different. But the representation of list in Scratch is the same with array in JavaScript. Okay, so let's go to Scratch. Um, so some things that we have to remember. So index. Okay, I'll just proceed first before I specify this. So let's go. Let's add. Let's remove the when green flag is clicked. Let's remove this also. Let's drag that somewhere, and let's add a comment that says what this code is for. This is like the age group code. So I'm gonna shrink this so that and okay, I'll just put so here other even. Okay, so let's create more space for our next code, which is the list. So here under the variables, you can actually create a list here. So make a list. Let's say I want to have the example for groceries. Okay, so you can actually add groceries array here, I mean list in here. But then that's not really what we want, right? Because we want everything to go in code. So let's omit that. Let's forget that this exists. So let's go to upon creating the groceries list, these blocks here are like, shown. It's unlocked. So here, let's try this block. Let's try to add items in our list. Let's say ketchup. Okay. And let's try to execute that. So ketchup is added. Actually, I can just like execute this one by one. Next would be like cabbage. Let's have like at least four elements in our list. So what else? Mayonnaise. Why am I like populating it with condiments? Okay, I actually added an extra. So and what else is soy sauce? Okay, so we have 4 elements inside our list. The next thing that we need to try, because we already finished this one, let's go with this, delete. So what it does is, remember that how we access the items inside our list, it's using this numbering here. In programming terms, this is called index. So we will know the location of a certain element using index. So as you can see here, this is starting with 1. But in JavaScript, let's actually just compare that. So in JavaScript, arrays start at index 0. So let's comment this and let's try to create an array. So here, arrays. So let's say let groceries. And how to actually initialize an array variable. It's a square bracket. Then I will place here ketchup. Then I will place here mayonnaise. Then what else is there? Soy sauce. And cabbage, right? So cabbage. Okay. So here, let me try to access this first element here, because it's not listed here, unlike in Scratch, right? Like we have this visual representation. So let me log the first element in my array. So how do I access elements in my array? It's again using indices, index, groceries, sub 0. So this sub here is actually like the index of what element you're trying to access. In this case, I'm trying to access ketchup. So let's try to save this and run just to prove that in array, elements start at index 0. So as you can see here, it's outputting ketchup. Okay, I hope that's clear. So here we have this parameter here. So here we are trying to delete what element index from our groceries list. So let's say I will delete the third one, which is mayonnaise. So I will click that. So it's removed, and it pulled up the rest of the elements upwards. So yeah, that's what the this block is doing. Okay, so next would be for the delete all. It's self-explanatory. It actually deletes everything in your list. But we will not try this because we are still going to go through the blocks here. So, but that's what it does. So here, well, we actually, the way you try to insert items in a list is that it adds it in the last index. So in here, what if you want to insert something on the middle, like somewhere between cabbage and soy sauce? So I want to insert pepper. So let's say pepper. I want to insert pepper at index. I want it to be on index 3. So I tried to click that, and as you can see, pepper is placed in index 3 and soy sauce was placed on index 4. So yeah. So here, replace item. If you're trying to modify the value of the element inside the list, then you try to use this block here. So when say replace item, let's say cabbage, I want to replace it with lettuce. Okay, so I try to, and then the value is reflected here. What else? Okay, so here, what does this do is it returns the index of an item. So, oh no. It just shows you what's the value of the the value of the element on that specific index. So for example, in item 1, it says here ketchup, it would output here ketchup. If I say 4, then it should output here soy sauce. So here soy sauce. This will do the reverse. So it will try to search your list on specific value, and it will return the index. So say pepper, it will return the index of pepper, which is 3. But if I try to put here salt, which is non-existent in our list, it would return 0. Okay. So what else? We have length. So length is also very important when you're trying to traverse the items inside our list. So length would allow us to determine when do we actually stop, traversing through our list, because we need to have that interval. So length. So as you can see here, we have length of 4. And what else? So this one is trying to identify if this particular value exists within our list. So if you code this in JavaScript, there's actually like an array method for this, but then here it's much simpler. So let's say groceries contain pepper. Let's say, and it will return true or false. So true. If I say salt, then it will return false. And what else? Show list of groceries. Oh, it's just showing. So hide the list, then it will hide the list. It will show and hide. So that's all for the list of blocks. Let's go into JavaScript for the arrays. So here, let me just clear this. Okay. So we have already instantiated our array. So the next thing that we have to do is we try to assign the first element. Instead of ketchup, I'd try to I tried to assign it as beef, sample, beef, like that. And let's try to log our groceries list. So this is like a way of replacing the value inside the element in the array, just like what we did with Scratch. Okay, and then let's run this. As you can see, instead of like ketchup, it was replaced with beef. What else? So how do we add an item inside an array? So it's using something called push. So push, let's say pork. So and then let's try to log it again here. As you can see here, we have beef and then we have pork added at the last part in our array. Just like how adding of items in a list is in Scratch. What else? The length. Yeah, how do we access the length of the array? So it's very simple. It's just using a property for the array called length. So let's say groceries dot length, and it should give us like 4. Yeah. So let's try to run this again. And as you can see, it sets here 5. How about we try to access the last element inside our array? So we can do that by saying groceries. Remember, when we try to access the elements, we're trying to use the index. So groceries dot length, but this is wrong. This is not correct, because remember that the index in array starts at 0. So even though our value here, our total number here is total number of elements inside the array is actually 5, the counting for that when you're trying to access an index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the last element should be of index 4. And how do we do that? We don't want to like say just groceries then sub 4, right? Because what if we have an array that's very long and it keeps on adding elements inside the array. So we want to make this value here for the last element to be dynamic. It will depend on the length of the array that we have. So here I will just say groceries. Wait, where's the length? Groceries length minus 1, because it starts at 0. So say groceries length minus 1, that means 4, because 5 minus 1, 4. Okay, so let's see if we're able to get this element here, the last element in our array. So as you can see, we have pork here. So it's not declared here again because we just added pork somewhere on the later part, not in our array declaration. Okay. How do you remove items in an array? So it works like a stack. So we have that push and pop function. So push means you're inserting, pop means you're actually removing. So let's try the groceries dot pop. Um, Pop the no parameter, and let's try to log. So it will remove the last item. As you can see here, when we try to pop, the pork is deleted. We also have special array methods like splice. So splice is it's good for inserting and deleting specific items inside your array. So let me demo that. So for example, groceries that splice, it will accept 3 parameters, actually more if one, but then the basic would be 3. The first parameter would be the what index. So let's say 1. And then the second parameter would be how many items will be deleted. So in case here, no, 0, because we're just trying to insert. So what item should we insert? Let's say spoon. Okay. So spoon will be inserted inside in our array, and let's try to log what is the look of our array now. So it inserted in index 1. Beef is in index 0. Mayonnaise is index 1, but then we're trying to insert it at a specific index. So here spoon is inserted in mayonnaise. Another use for splice is for replacing elements inside the array. So let me copy this so that it will be faster. So here I want to replace one element at index 4. So index 4, which is in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I cabbage all, and then here I will already put 1 because I will be deleting an element. Deleting an element meaning you're trying to modify the value. So, and here I will say pork. So cabbage should be pork. So here cabbage was replaced with pork. Okay. So that's how list and array works. So here just a reminder again, starts at 1, JavaScript arrays starts at 0. And the maximum number of elements to store in Scratch is 200,000. And also I want to show you something cool. So here you can actually export this list. So for example, here I click exports, and it will generate a text file, and it will show me this groceries.txt. So I can also import the list from somewhere else. So let's say what should I put? Candle, like that, and I'm going to save that, and I'm gonna right click and import, and I need to find where was the file saved. Downloads, I think. Wait, where was the file saved? Okay, I'll just create. I'll just open my downloads. Wait. So Command Shift J, I think. Oh, so it's in download. So let me go again. Import. Let me find what's that? Groceries. Oh, here. Okay, open. So as you can see here, what happened? so soy sauce and cabbage and candle is in the same. Wait, what happened to our text file? So let me try to do it again. Let me open this. Let me add one more thing. Let's say cup. Let's try to save this. And I will import that here. So import. And I will, should be in the recents, right? Okay, downloads, then that groceries.txt. Yeah, for some reasons they are in the same element. Anyhow, so yeah, the point is you can import and export a list from a text file. Okay, so next would be conditional logic. We actually did this already using the if-else statement. So let me hide this one. Yeah, so we've done lots of if-else condition here. So that's just what conditional logic means. Loops. Okay, loops. So we're down to the two last programming fundamentals, which is the loops loops and functions. So let's do loops. So what are loops good for? They are used to specify repetition until a certain condition is met. So in Scratch we have forever, repeat, and until loops, and in JavaScript we have while, do while, and for loop. So let's go back to our Scratch. So let's go to our control here, and we have here the first. Let's do the forever block. So forever, may pa-scratch may forever, joke lang. And forever means like as long as your program is running, that means this block of code inside forever block is actually will still execute. So let's say let's demo that. So let's remove 10 steps if on edge bounds. Okay, let's just do that. Okay, where's the green flag is clicked here? So what happens is that it actually repeatedly moved 10 steps, but then what happens is it gets stuck because it's already on the edge of our stage. So that's where the if on edge bounds block would be helpful. Okay? But our cat is acting weirdly because it shouldn't like rotate in a way if it bounces on the edge. So what we can do is actually like disable this turning. We can have this instead. So this is like the movement will not be turning, and this one is to disable the turning, and this one is just um, it will not rotate the sprite, but just the linear, what's this, the horizontal changes. So the cat will be facing from right to left. Okay. So here like that. Okay, so that's the forever block. Next would be the repeat block. So let's say repeat 4 times, and then let's also have the move 10 steps, but here let's put a delay so that we will really know that it's 4 times, because it movements in sprite is actually like very fast. You won't notice that it's actually like 4 times being executed. So let's put here control, and let's say wait for like, let's say 1 second, and let's put the forever block, the green flag here. 2, 3, 4, and it stops right there. So it will repeat this 4 times. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exact with our delay, which is 1 second. And the last block that we have is the repeat until. Repeat until here. Okay, so here we will put a condition. So I will choose a different example for this. So I will have the answer here. I would say, what is the capital of PH? Okay, so here I would say I would have an operator. It will keep on asking this question until the answer is Manila. So I would say here Manila. And I would like to grab the answer block. So let me move this. So I will say Cebu. No, it will still it will keep on until I answer that Manila. And then it stops. One thing I want to show you is that this is actually not case sensitive. So even if I type it the Manila, the short what's this, not a capital letter for the letter M in Manila, it still satisfies the condition. So yeah, that's the 3 kinds of loops in Scratch. Now let's go to loops in JavaScript. So let me comment this. It's already 3. I hope you still guys have have energy, because we will still make a game. So Actually, let's just do this fast, okay? So I already have here. So I'll just demo you real quick. Boom, it's a magic. But let's do this quick. So loops. Again, we have the first loop that we will have is the do while loop. So the anatomy of this, the anatomy of a do while loop. Let me comment this first because we want to test. So here we're declaring a text variable with an empty, empty string. Here we're setting the index to 0. I represents index in our use case. Here we will do means like whatever we will execute this line of code here, and as long as we're satisfying this specific condition. So in the industry, no one I don't know, but most of the time a do while is not used. So but yeah, let me just demo it to you. So here we're setting we should print a number from 0 to 4. So we're traversing that. So here we are setting the text value to number is equal to I, which is currently 0. Then we print that, and then I plus plus, meaning you're trying to increment the value of I to 1. So in this case, the value of I here is not 0 but already 1. So then it checks here, is I less than 5? Because our value here is 1, it's still satisfying that condition. So it it executes it again. Same thing. So the number is 1 here, then console log, then I plus 1. So value of 1, I is 1 plus 1 is 2. So is I is less than 5? Yes, it's still, because the value of I is 2. So let's try to run that. As you can see here, it printed 0 to 4 number. It didn't include 5 because our condition is only less than 5. So that's until 4, from 0 to 4. I hope that's clear. Let's proceed with the while. So while loop, again, we're specifying a variable here, text and I. And here, instead of like in the do while, we're actually like putting it inside the code to be executed is put inside the while condition. While I is less than 10, then we execute this thing here. Also, after logging whatever value text has, we also increment it by 1, meaning we add it 1 until it becomes 10. And when it reaches the value of 10, that's where it stops. It's the terminating condition. So we try to clear, and no, didn't save yet. So let's try to save. Always save your files, guys and gals. So here, so it's printing 0 to 9 again because our condition is less than 10. Okay, that's for the while loop. Let's have for the for loop. So here I'm setting another example. We have a cars array, and we're trying to traverse the elements inside. We're trying to print the elements inside the array. So we're using for loop. So the anatomy of a for loop is that the first condition, the first statement is actually like the initialization of your index. The second condition here is when will it stop. So when is actually the terminating point. So here, your I should be less than the car's length. So how long is your car here? Array. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should be less than 6. Because again, it starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it makes it's a way to make sure that all of the items inside your array is printed. And here I plus plus again is incrementing it to 1. So that we keep on moving from one element to another. So here we're car sub I. Again, remember our arrays, we access the elements inside an array using indices, and then we log. So let's try this. As you can see here, it actually displayed the things inside the array using the for loop. So that's for the loops. Finally, we have functions. So what are functions? Functions are blocks, certain block of code that does something. So what we're actually doing here in Scratch is that, we have a very scattered we have a very scattered script area. So we can actually group our scripts based on what they do. So for example, for the greeter, for the greet name, we can actually define our own block. Let's say here, let's create a block and let's name it. And I will choose this because I will have a value for my, wait, let me restart that again. Make block. Okay, block name would be greet. And then I will add a input here. I would say name. Okay. When creating that, I have generated a define block here. So let's go to here. Let me grab this, but this is actually way too long. Okay, I will just grab the define variable there. You have to scroll all the way there because I will put that. Where is it? Did I actually delete it? Okay. Again, sorry guys. So greet the name. Okay, here. It's nearer. So I want to place this inside. And let's remove this so that I don't need to drag it all the way and just, create another one. So here, when I say I'm actually grouping this into a function. So define greet, this is the function name, and what parameter do you actually what parameter do you accept? So, and here instead of okay, I don't need the ask actually here. So let me remove that. So here, instead of having this, I will put here name. So when green flag is clicked, I will have here the function call. This is the function call. This is the function definition. So here I will say Cleo, and if I try to run that, it will do exactly as what is placed here. But then we're passing a parameter here. That means this can be dynamic. So let's say 1. So when I try to click that, it does the same thing. So it's grouping our scripts into what they should actually do, and it actually organizes our code in a much more efficient way. So let's do one more function for our other even. So here let's wrap this up in a function. So I will say make block. I will say odd or even, and I will add input, which is a number. Okay. On creating that, I have here. Then instead of asking, instead of answer, I will have number here. Okay, like that. And then I will press the green flag. So here I will have a green flag is clicked. and then I will call my function. So here, and I will put a parameter here of 10. So let's try to run that, and it says even. If I try to run 55, and it says odd. So that's what functions are in Scratch. How about in JavaScript? So function, how do you declare a function in JavaScript? So you start declaring a function using a function keyword. Function, and then what's the function name? Let's say greet. And then what's the parameter? Parameters are what is used inside your function. So say greet name. And then here I will return. So some functions return something, some functions don't. But the best practice is always to return something when you're calling a function. So say hello space plus name. So you're calling your parameter here. And just like what we did in Scratch, we will execute this. So here we're trying to log the value for greet. And then the parameter is what we will pass into our function. So this is the way to call a function. So greet Cleo, like that. And then we're trying to wrap this in a console log because we're trying to output hello plus Cleo. So let's try to run that. And here we have hello Cleo. Let's do one last thing for the even or odd. So is odd, wait, is odd or even. And then here I will have a parameter with number. So here I will have the if statement. If number modulo 2 is equal to 0, then I will say console log even, then else console log odd. Okay, and then I will call directly the function is odd or even, and then I'll be giving a parameter of what value should I pass. So let's say 5. So, and let's say we have odd here because 5 is odd, an odd number. So change this to 10. And it gives us even. Okay, so that's functions. And we will have our last activity. I actually prepared 3 activities for you guys, but we're running out of time. So I will just have this activity here, Star Hunter. So Star Hunter is a game where your main character is the diver. So the diver will collect the stars. And while collecting the stars, your score will be incrementing here, depending on the number of stars you're getting. And here we have 2 enemies here, the crab and the octopus. So if your diver will touch the octopus and the crab, then it will output game over. So this octopus here is running at a random position and at a fast speed, while the crab is just chill. It's moving slowly. So let's do that. So let's go. Let's create another project. So let's remove the cat because I don't like the cat. So backdrops first. Let's set the backdrop for our game. So let's go with underwater. Here, underwater. So yeah, we have there the backdrop. Next, let's get our sprites. So we will choose a sprite. So we will have the diver. Let's have this there. Then we will have the octopus, the crab, and the star. So let's add the star there. And the next would be the, what else? Crab. Crab. There. And then lastly is the octopus. Octopus. Okay. So let's start working on the diver. So the movement of your diver would be like, it will follow the movement of your mouse. So let's start creating our game. First is we will have green flag is clicked as usual. Events, green flag is clicked. We will create a variable. What variable will create? It's for the score. So let's say score. Okay. So we will set our score to 0. That's the initial condition. So we will have a forever block because we want these scripts to run while our program is running. So so here we will have a motion here that says go to mouse pointer. So here, let's try to run that first. Wait, and we also need an if on edge bounce because we want. Wait, why am I in the crab? Okay, let's go to the diver. Wait, where is my code? Oh, I actually put it in the octopus. Did I? Oh, in the star. No, it should be in the diver. Okay, so I will delete this for the star and I will go to the diver. Okay, good. That's how you drag and drop code, guys. If you mistakenly put your code in the sprites, you can drag it and then it will automatically copy. So here, yeah, so let's try. As you can see, it's following my mouse. And if it's on edge, it doesn't stay on the edge. It actually like bounce. So not you don't really see the bounce, right? But anyhow, because the way we saw it with the cat earlier, it will stick here if it's not, I don't have an if on edge bounce actually, so let's put that. Okay, here, let's try to run. Okay, so it's not sticking to the edge, it's only going on the sides. So we're good with the diver. So next we will work on let's actually set a size for our diver. Let's say set size to, let's say 80% because it's actually kind of big. So it's actually 80% already. You can also set its size here, but then it's better if you do everything with code, right? Next is the star. Let's work on the star. So the star, it will have a code. The logic is if the diver is touching the star, then that if the star is being touched by the diver, then we will increment the score by 1, and we will also move the star to another position. Okay, so how do we do that? So let's say here, when green flag is clicked, we will have forever block. Because we're using the score here, we also need the set score to 0 just to make sure that we're setting everything right. Score to 0 and then the forever block here, and then we have an if condition inside. So if the sensing, so you can actually not just like touching any mouse, but then any what's this events, but you can actually sense if it's touching another sprite. So here you have this options here. So I say diver 2 because that's the name of our sprite. If touching diver 2, then we change the score by 1. Change score by 1. Okay? And then I want to play a sound, but later on. So we will also add sounds to our game. So but later we just want to make this work first. So motion here, we want to go to XY. So we want to, when the diver will actually collect the star should choose another random position so that the diver will also catch that next star. So here, this is like a definitive X and Y position, right? But we want it to be random. So here we have a pick random position here. I will randomize the location for X and Y position. So it's negative 200 and to 200. So that's like x going here, positive and negative. Okay. Yeah. So going there. And also for the y. So negative 150 to 150. Okay. So let's try to run this. As you can see, it's incrementing the score. The star is here. Okay. We good, right? Okay. Now we have that. The next thing we work on is the enemies. Okay, the enemies. The octopus. So I'll work on first with the octopus. So here, when green flag is clicked, we will set the size because the octopus is too big. So here, set size by, I'll say 35%. I want it to be very small. Oh, okay, small. And then I want it to start at a random position also. So I will point in direction, and then I will have the pick random. Again, just as how we randomize the position of our star. Negative 179, and actually choose whatever values you want, but then yeah, this is just for illustration purposes. So I will have another here, events, no, control. I will wait for like 0.25 seconds just to have a little bit of delay for the initialization part. And then I will have a forever block. Then I want it to move 10 steps. Then if it's on edge, then it will bounce. Wait, where's if on edge bounce? Okay, here. Then I will have a condition here that constantly checks. If our enemy is touching the diver, so here, if touching, if how you read the touching block is that this is your active sprite, right? So that means if octopus is touching diver 2, so whatever is your current active sprite, that is like the point, the perspective, like point of perspective or something like that. Okay, so here touching diver 2, and then we will say this, we will use this game over. Then we will stop everything. So it's because it's game over. So we have a here stop this script or stop scripts in Sprite, but here we will stop everything in our code. So here, then let's try to run this. Let's hide first this crab because it's kind of like, we're not yet doing that. Okay, start. Okay, so when your octopus is touching the if your diver is touching the octopus, then everything will stop. But then something's wrong with our octopus. Look, it's like going up and down. So we have to fix that. Here in our direction, we should only have this have that, and then okay, let's try. Okay, that's way better. Okay, we have game over, pal, and it terminated after 2 seconds. Oh, that's too long. So let's say 0.25. Okay, one more for the crab. Basically, it's just the same, the same code with the crab. I mean, with the octopus. So let's copy this and place it in the crab. So voila, it's there. So in here, I want to set the size of the crab. Okay, I'll show the crab already. Okay, there. And then the same, and then we will have a different message. The enemies of the C1. You lost. Okay. So we have this. Let's try to. Okay, and then now what's peculiar is our crab. So let's fix our crab. Try to do that, and let's try to only do this horizontal changes. So let's try to run that. Okay, try to separate. Yeah. So that is our Star Hunter game. So I hope you learned something for this. Oh wait, I still have a few more slides. Okay, so all of the things that we have discussed here is in this resources here. We have the slides, we have the code in Scratch. I already uploaded it, and also the JavaScript code that I coded a while ago. It's already also in a repository in GitHub repository. And then yeah, so many people would ask me why programming? So why should we why should we be interested in programming? It's because programming is everywhere. I mean, not programming is everywhere, but software is everywhere. You go to banks, there's a software involved. When you go to the supermarket, when you try to, when you try to pay for your groceries, there's the POS system that involves the software. Entertainment, you if you guys watch Encantadia, they have this specific visual effects. There's also software used in that. Photo editing, images, TikTok, all of these things involve software. And so I can really say that working as a software engineer is a purposeful and impactful job. It's because I can think of an idea, well, not really my idea, sometimes the client's idea, and I work on it. But then you're sure that these products that you're building is going to be used by people. And I don't think there's also I think that alone is very rewarding, because you're creating products and services that could help and improve people's lives. And that thought alone is very exciting, and also very purposeful. So yeah, that's why I think people should start venturing out in programming. This is just a very, if I say it, the what's the surface level. There's still more to programming, but we cannot discuss everything. So you have to dig deeper on your own. That's why the resources is there. And also, learning today is also made available, easy access. You can just like Google how to code, or how to code in JavaScript, or how to make animations and all that. The information is just a few clicks and taps away from your mouse and keyboard. So take advantage of that, guys. And for those aspiring developers out there, I know you're sometimes it's overwhelming, but you will never know unless you try. So just really keep pushing. I know there's a high learning curve. Sometimes it depends on the language and what specialization in computer science you're trying to go in. But then and also for those people who already have their career but want to shift to a tech career, especially in software development. So my advice to you is just to really try, because you'll never know. But unless you try, if programming and software development is really for you. And so yeah, I guess whenever I do a talk, I always share sort of like my vision mission statement. So it's to help the world become a better place, one source code at a time. Because what you're building, the products and services that you're trying to create or will create in the future, may help people. And so that's all for me this afternoon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to PBH for having me. It's such a great it's an honor, and it's a great pleasure for me to share here what I know. And yeah, thank you so much also to PBH organizers for having that initiative to help the students in Hilongos Leyte through the donations and through the kind-hearted people who will, lend their resources out. So yeah, I'm handing you back to our host, Ate Dana. So if you have questions, let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me in this masterclass.
Thank you very much, Cleo. So, did you guys enjoy Cleo's masterclass? Because I did. Actually, I am also a software engineer, and I've been in the industry for 6 years already. But this is what the magic of software engineering is. As you go, as you learn, you can always learn new things. You can always learn new technologies. There is no such thing as limit in the software engineering industry. So, um, yes, basically, even though I am an experienced software engineer, I did learn a lot today. And thank you very much, Cleo, for that very comprehensive and interesting masterclass. So, before I give Cleo back to you guys, let me invite all of you to donate to Project Batang Hilongos Nun. You can donate to Project Batang Hilongos via GCash. Send that over to 𝗤𝗏𝗂𝗃𝗏 with that number. You can also donate to us via BPI, but using that savings account. You can also donate to us through PayPal. You can send it over to 𝗤𝗏𝗂𝗃𝗏𝗏, to Land Bank, again to 𝗤𝗏𝗂𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏, and to my Japan Post Bank account. Send it over to that account number. And lastly, you can send cash. You can send pera padala through Palawan, Cebuana, and 𝗝𝗏𝗄𝗄𝗄𝗏 through 𝗏𝗠𝗃𝗏 Zamora. Thank you very much, everyone. And I am going to bring back our speaker for today. But this time around, I will be joined by our, hold on. I will be joined by our reactors for today. Please welcome Kuya MJ. Kuya MJ and Sheena. So, Kuya MJ is a senior software engineer working with the Java language for almost 10 years now. I'm not really sure, but yeah, for 10 years now. And Sheena is a BS biology student from the University of the Philippines. So both of them are representing two sides of people in this talk. So I will hand over the opportunity of asking questions to Kuya MJ first. Kuya MJ.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Kuya.
Okay, hello. On-cam ba ko?
Pwede na
Better.
kaayo.
Okay, let me check. Okay.
Yeah, hello Kuya MJ.
Hello.
Thank you for
Hello.
coming over today and being our reactor.
Okay, hello guys. Reactor, no? Grabe. Sige, mag-react ako. Oh, react mo ka. Anyway, I think first of all, no, I think one word first on my reaction is the word unfair. It's so unfair. It's because when we started learning about programming, we didn't have this, right? And yeah, it goes back to what Cleo said now. There are lots of resources available right now. There are lots of communities and the tools available right now. So I agree that I think coding should be more public available, should be more accessible by schools and by people who wants to go for software development. I think we're still like a rare breed of species right now, and I hope that in the future there are lots of interest that will go with software development. And this is one of the things that I have appreciated with the Scratch. I've seen that its introduction it's basically developed for kids, like for 7 to 10 or 15 years old, and it's really a good introduction to the development a discipline, because for us we need to learn the syntax, we need to learn all those syntax and semantics, right, the basics of programming. But this, I think, this is the first thing that you need to know, how the logic works, how the the things interact with each other. So yeah, I really appreciated this, and I think it's the best way to teach kids to do coding.
That's
Now, yeah, that's why it's so unfair, and I think they need to really take advantage of this. So I think I've posted some questions in the chat. Maybe you can display it. Yeah, this is one of my question to Cleo. Other than games, what are the practical uses of Scratch? Like, maybe you can cite some examples of people who are actually using this for this purpose.
Um, when I tried to look at some of the projects made in the Scratch online community, they actually made some music videos using
Ooh.
Scratch. Yeah, like full length song music video with the animations and stuff. And another thing aside from games is that stories. So like the educators now, some of them are scratchers, and they leverage the power of Scratch in actually like trying to do a visual presentation of the story, so that students
Oh.
may be able to understand more. And some of them actually put their like material on Scratch. So like kids really love to see those movements on things, and they better perceive the content in a visual way. So they use Scratch to um to aid them in their teaching. So yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's a very great idea. So educators out there, we invite you to learn Scratch and use it in your classes. That's a really great idea. Before we proceed with Kuya MJ's second questions, can I ask Sheena? Can we give the floor to Sheena first? Hello, Sheena. Are you there?
Hello, Te.
Yes. Hi, Sheena. So how was Cleo's masterclass? How did it do for you?
I think it's very overwhelming. I mean,
Yes, we would understand because you are from a different field. So how does it feel to hear about programming the very first time and to learn from it the very first time from the masterclass?
with the use of Scratch, I think it's very user friendly and somewhat engaging, so it's okay.
Okay. Do you have a question for Cleo?
Is there a file size limit for a project in Scratch or in JavaScript?
For JavaScript, no. It depends on the story. At the end of the day, if you try to code in Scratch offline, you will have to, if you want to export that, it will have the .sb file type. So no, there's no I think none, like no, what's it, file size limit. But if you go to the online editor, I think there's also none, because you're using the storage from the Scratch maintainers themselves. So you save your projects online. And for JavaScript, no. Like I actually work on very huge projects that has, I don't know, more than 30 files. So yeah, it really depends. Also, if your computer can have the enough storage to run those programs. So yeah.
So I think what you really want to ask Sheena is if there is an ideal environment in order to start programming. Is it that? Is it that, Sheena? Like an ideal computer? Do you need to have a super fast computer? Do you need to have a very a huge memory disk in order to start programming?
Yes, okay.
Actually, not. Like, you can actually just program Scratch using the online editor also. So, and using that, the computing power of that comes from the Scratch servers, as long as you have good internet. And for offline, yeah, I think it doesn't have that much in terms of specs. It doesn't require much because I also noticed that there for the version 3 of Scratch they improved so much, not only on the user interface, the presentation side, but also on the performance. So yeah, you can start programming with you don't need a very good computer to actually learn how to code. So yeah, with the available resources you have, if you can code, if you have a text editor, like what's that in Windows, Notepad, you can
Notepad.
even code in Notepad. So yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sheena. So I'm going to give you back to Kuya MJ. We still have another question from Kuya MJ. So how do you package and distribute the output? Is it only runnable on the browser?
So when you try to export your file, it has the .sb file type, but then this actually only runs on the Scratch environment. So when you try to share, the way of releasing this project is only in the Scratch website. So you can share it and it will be publicly available. So I don't think that there is another way, just like, a desktop app and a web app, how I mean, like a desktop app and a mobile app, when you try to release them, they come with an installer or something. But then the programs that you create in Scratch is only, yeah, on their environment, which is on their website. So yeah.
Okay. Do you have additional comments on that, Kuya MJ?
Is it embeddable on a website? Like if you have a blog or something and you want to embed that certain piece of like game, or like as a, what do you call this? Like maybe on a, it's like an applet or something.
Yeah, you can embed it using an iframe. So you have a
Mm.
first you have a source link to your Scratch game. Actually, wait, let me share my screen. I know a way to do that. So wait, yeah, I have my screen right now. So let's go to some of the projects that I've done. There's actually like a dashboard for, let's say this one. Come on, internet. So I haven't shared this, but if you click here the share, then you have here the copy link. So here, this is the iframe. So you can embed this on your website for like putting this in your blog. So you can use the iframe. It's generated directly on the Scratch dashboard. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, yeah. Cool,
Mhm.
cool.
All right. So we already answered the question from KMJ, the second question. For Sheena, do you have another question for Cleo?
About sa Scratch, ate, now, is it possible to switch a backdrop in a single project?
Yeah, like you can have as many backdrops as you want. So wait, let me share my screen again. So for example, you need to satisfy a certain condition in order to change the backdrop. So for example, I will have another backdrop here. Wait, costumes. So here I have two backdrops, right? The galaxy and then the baseball. So what if I want to change my backdrop when I reach score, let's say, what score? Let's say I will change the backdrop when I have score 5. So I will just put here a condition. So I will say I will wrap this with a forever block. Then variables here, if score, wait, operators, if score is equal to, let's say, 5, then I will have Then we have here in the looks. So switch backdrop to, let's say, baseball. So I can put that here. But then the initial wait. So I'll go back. Wait, that's the costumes. Wait, sorry. So here I will set the backdrop here first to the galaxy. So I try to go back to the code. Then if my score is, wait, but I need to score 5. So I should have set it to 2 so that it's easier. And then 5, it should change the backdrop. So there.
It's so
So
cute.
yeah. So yeah, that's how you change the backdrop. You can have as many backdrops as you want. So as you can see here, it's a lot. So yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Claire. That's so cute. That was very cute. Okay, so let's have your final question, Kuya MJ. Is it your final question? Is there some sort of source code control mechanism?
What do you mean, something like GitHub, like that?
I think so, Kuya MJ, right?
Yeah, is it something that you integrate like as you work? Like I'm thinking of you're doing some collaboration. Yeah, I think if you're a GitHub, how? Yeah, something like that, like the GitHub. So is it easily integrated into the system, or you need to export it then?
Actually, you have settings in your project that you can add collaborators for that. Like people would request, oh, can I make some changes in your project? Then you approve that. Then they will have a copy of their own. It's called remix. So wait, I think where is it? Like you can remix a project. Wait, let me show you that. So here, for example, I'll just pick a random project. So in GitHub, it's like you're trying to fork this particular repository. So in here, you're trying to remix this. So you'll have a copy. So save a copy of this project and add to your own idea. So you can create a version of, you can make some modifications, and actually after that you can ask the maintainer of this project or the creator to, if they want to integrate your changes. So yeah.
Yeah.
You can, that's why it's collaborative, but everything happens just in the Scratch environment. So yeah, you can port it in something else. Just like how you did also in like Minecraft, there's coding, also Python coding in Minecraft, but you can also you can only run the particular scripts on the Minecraft environment. So like that. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any follow up on that, Kuya? Or should I?
How far back can you undo your changes? Is there a limit?
What do you mean?
I didn't see
Okay.
you do undo.
Okay. So actually,
Like if
there's
you
an
delete,
undo button in
yeah.
the. Yeah, wait. Let me go back to my project. So, for example, that we just created that. So I will delete something. I will try to undo because there's an undo button actually. So see inside. So for example, I will. Wait, where is the undo? I think there is an undo, but I forgot where is it.
Yeah, usually
So
you see a back arrow or
yeah. So
somewhere.
wait, let's go to the Scratch offline if we have the undo there.
Most likely.
Yeah, because that's also a dilemma also of the, like it could really be a problem, like if you edited so much and then you want to go back.
That's our
So
lifesaver.
yeah, it's a
For us
undo.
developers.
So Scratch is loading. Come on. So, or we can just Google that now. Like I forgot really where is it, but then I know there's like an undo button because I've used it before. Wait, why is my computer? loading, let's say, undo in Scratch. So this is like the reality of programming. You know, if you don't know something, then Google it. So wait, this is still in Scratch too, but I'm sure there is an undo button. I just can't remember where. So yeah.
It's okay. That's okay. Let's just leave that to everyone for everyone to explore in the next in their next venture to Scratch. Okay. So I think that's all from Kuya MJ. Do you still have other things, Kuya?
I think final one. Is there like schools right now implementing this into their curriculum
Yeah,
that you
actually.
know?
Yeah, because last December I went to Nogas Elementary School. That's like in the mountain areas in Alcoy, and they have this they have the science their science teacher. I gave a workshop there, and they're already implementing this. But then because of pandemic, so they were not they paused that. But then also in other schools like I think Paref Springdale, they also have this in their computer classes, and not only in Philippines but globally. I think there is like a campaign for Scratch that if you're a Scratch educator, you get some perks and privileges. You know, if you spread the word about Scratch, so something like an ambassador. So teachers actually register to Scratch as like a Scratch educator, and then yeah, so many schools I think already are implementing this on their mostly in their computer class. So especially that right now we have the STEM and ABM, all those tracks. So for those STEM related tracks, they have for especially for computer courses, they have something like this for introductory classes. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much, MJ. So, I would like to hand over the floor to Sheena. Do you still have questions, Sheen, or is that all?
Related from my to my first question, Ate Kay, can you hide a sprite when changing the backdrop?
Well, hide a sprite. Yeah, actually, there's Can I show my screen again? So there is actually like hide here. Here, you can hide. You can hide this for example, this crab. I wanna hide the crab, so I will move this and here. Then I will click the green flag, and it's already gone. So yeah. So you can use the hide block to hide the sprite. So it also depends. Also, if your question was if you want to switch the backdrop, can you use the hide? So yeah, you can use this on adding with the blocks that I did earlier. Remember that when the score is equal to 5, switch backdrop to baseball, right? And you can also you can also add this on that particular code block to hide the particular sprite. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Yay.
Okay. So before we close, I would also like to ask a question now, because I'm very curious about this. Why do you think they decided to create Scratch? Because graphics is not new to programming. I mean, even C++, even the oldest programming languages, we can already create graphics from it. We can already create buttons and stuff. So why do you think they decided to create Scratch? Why do you think they need another drag and drop programming technology?
I think at first the main idea of Scratch is to empower the kids. So they think that kids have the wildest imagination, like they can be great innovators. They have this, ideas that they really want to build. And so they created Scratch in a way for kids to really learn about critical thinking and also like logic reasoning, so that they just don't they will practice how to That's just, how can I explain? So they can really practice digesting information and trying to process it further.
Experiment.
So the procedural thinking. So yeah, so I think that's the reason why Scratch is made. And also, another side effect of having Scratch is that people who don't have programming background can have, and they can learn programming concepts without really touching code, because it can be really overwhelming. So they will they will be able to think creatively, know how to reason, and the logical processes. So yeah, they but now, Scratch is not only used by kids but also by educators and people who are interested to build games. And you can build like Mario in Scratch. So there is a project, there are lots of Mario projects in there. So yeah.
That's true, no. It's very overwhelming gid bitaw. To start learning programming, it's even us during our first years, 'di ba? If maka-remember ta no sa atong mga first
Oh
year,
yeah.
okay. It was very difficult to adjust the mindset ba of programming, of abstraction, of whatever concepts programming it has to offer. So it I think Scratch is also great to let people get into programming the easier way first, and if they want to dig deeper to it, they can explore to more advanced na kanang technology, which is very
Yeah.
great. All right, thank you very much. I would like to thank Kuya MJ and
Hey,
Gina
thank
for
you.
being
Thank you,
our
ma'am.
educators, and being our
Yeah.
instructors for today. It was such I like this part of the live stream. We can basically talk to each other and just chill, para dili kaayo pressured ba no niya ang mga tao kay na stress na sila nagtatanaw sa mga codes na sa atubangan, no, naluoy ako nila. So guys, I hope you thank you very much kay MJ, thank you very much Sheena, and I would like to proceed to our next part, which is recognizing our speaker for today. So I would like to thank you again very much, Sheena and Kuya. Removing you guys from the live stream. Okay, so at this juncture, I would like to call on my sister once again, my co-founder and the logistics team head of. Oh, where is my sister? Where is my sister? My co-founder and the logistics team head of Project Batang Hilongosnon, in order to present to you our certificate of appreciation. So Anna, can you please turn on your screen? I think her internet connection has died. So I will present to you, Cleo, the certificate of appreciation from Project Batang Hilongosnon for being the resource speaker of PBH, the MasterClass Webinar Series on Programming in Scratch, given this day, 17th of October, 2020, signed by myself, 𝓅𝓇𝓉𝓇𝑜𝒹𝓊𝒹𝓆, and the overall project manager of Project Batang Hilongosnon. A round of applause, please. Okay. So, Cleo, if this is a personal a seminar, I would have placed this in a frame and hand it personally over to you.
Okay, naman
Since
good.
this is a webinar, yes. So here it is, Cleo.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Virtual
much for
handover.
thank you very much for being our speaker for today.
Yeah, honor and
Okay,
pleasure
so
is mine.
I think Anna is still not here. So I will just have to get back to Anna later if her internet connection is okay again. So at this juncture, I would like to pass again to Clay if she has some final words before we close this webinar.
Final words, mamatay. Joke lang. So
Final
yeah.
words for our
Okay, probably just keep on exploring whatever you have decided to do for yourself. Like if you have a project, you have an idea for a project, list it down, and probably you can start working on it. I think what's really cool about programming is that unlike, you try to build a cabinet, so you need to buy materials, you need to learn wood carving and all that, varnish it. Programming is just, like you need to think and you need to have a computer and internet in order to build it. And it allows you to build awesome things with a minimal requirement. Not really minimal kay ang learning curve is steep, but then yeah, we can always learn because there are lots of resources online. So what I can say is really try out programming, especially during this pandemic. We have we're stuck in our homes, and probably that also reduced our time in commuting and all that stuff. So we have free time. We can use that to learn a new skill, or learn programming. So yeah, so just try lang jud, guys, and someday you will really go to a point where you will be able to switch a career jud in software development, and probably ship your own products and services. So yeah, ganun siya.
All right, thank you very much, Cleo. So, I would like to thank again Cleo for being with us here today.
Thank you,
This is
PBA.
such a huge honor and a privilege to have a Cebuana for a 𝓅𝓃𝓉𝓇𝓐 webinar. So thank you very much, Cleo.
Thank you sa PBH na organizers for doing this and for having this initiative. You guys are awesome. You're the real MVP.
Thank you very much,
Yay.
Cleo. All right, so before we close, I would like to thank our viewers today for being with us for a very long time during this live stream. And this is the very first live stream that we have. So we would like to extend our gratitude to our viewers, to those who stayed with us throughout the live stream. Once again, this is Dana from Project Batang Hilongos inviting you to donate, volunteer, sponsor, and to stand in solidarity with us for our noble cause, which is to support our students and teachers survive the new normal of the academic year 2020 and 2021. So if you would like to donate, volunteer, sponsor, or just support us in any way that you can, please don't hesitate to send us a direct message in our Facebook page or in the PBH TV, or you can also reach anybody from our from the members of our organization. So please do not hesitate to connect with us, because we would really love to have people stand with us together in this noble movement. So to close, we will be showing you short videos of our activities and operations in PBH. Once again, thank you very much for being with us today, and see you in the next webinar. This has been Dana, and this has been the PBH #MasterClass Webinar Series Season 1. Thank you very much, and bye!
Sa mga gusto pang tapang, maayon lang sila tabang sa mga nananginahon. Kaya ano nang katong kapos gajud nanapot sila yung magamit.
Sulti sa mga gusto mo tabang. Manaot ko nga kuan daghan pa mamutabang sa mga kabataan labi na kay way mga kuan kapalit gadgets.
Ang tabang sila basta na ay ginagmay na lamang nga para makakuan po sa among pag-eskwela.
Salamat.